The enigmatic night in the woods. It was a crisp autumn evening, and our sleepy town was buzzing with excitement as high school seniors gathered for the big football game. Our school had an exceptional football team, and these games were the highlight of our social calendar. With not much else to do in our quiet little town, we cherished these moments. During a seemingly ordinary Friday while we were stuck in an elective class, my friend JJ and I devised a plan to invite two girls, Kayla and Ashley, to the evening's football game. The idea took shape quickly, and they agreed to join us. After school, we stocked up on some Four Loko, concealed in water bottles, and headed to the stadium parking lot. We secured prime seats at the top row of the bleachers, eager for the game to begin. As the sun dipped below the horizon during the third quarter, the field was soon shrouded in darkness. Our team, unusually, was losing, prompting many to leave early. We stayed, intending to enjoy our time on the field post-game. When the final whistle blew, the stadium emptied rapidly. Within minutes, only a handful of us remained in the bleachers. The moonlight was our sole companion as the field lights dimmed, leaving us in near total darkness. Our laughter echoed through the empty space. Curiosity sparked a mischievous idea, and we decided to venture into the adjacent woods. While the girls hesitated, JJ and I ran ahead to playfully spook them. As we hid behind the trees, we spotted a looming figure around 15 feet away, standing motionless between the trees. A woman's voice broke the silence, warning us against being in the woods. A sense of dread washed over us as we noticed the figure growing larger and closer at an unnatural pace, seemingly without moving her legs. Panic gripped us, and we sprinted back, calling for the girls to follow. We lost them momentarily, concealing ourselves behind trees. When we regrouped, we explained the chilling encounter of the towering woman in the woods. We watched from our car, but nobody emerged from the woods, leaving us bewildered about why an older woman was there alone at night. Our school had no security, making it even stranger. We eventually headed to JJ's place, leaving the night to our imagination. Fast forward to that summer, as I returned to work as a custodian at the school. One day, an eerie incident unfolded when I saw a mysterious woman's silhouette through an upstairs window. She vanished when I tried to locate her, leaving me unsettled. Later, I heard her voice in an empty classroom, though no one was there. It was then that I became convinced that our school was haunted by the spirit of an older woman, the mysterious arrival of a new student. It was the beginning of my senior year, and I had been held back, making me one of the older students in our small-town high school. On the first day of school, I noticed a newcomer named Chester in my first period astronomy class. Curiosity led me to introduce myself to him, and I offered to show him around. However, I couldn't shake an unsettling feeling about Chester. As we toured the school, he asked peculiar questions, starting innocently but taking a bizarre turn when he requested my home address. Despite my hesitation, I gave him my Snapchat username instead, and we parted ways. Later in the day, I found myself in an English class with a small group of students, including Chester. His strange behavior escalated during class as he repeatedly gestured for me to come over while staring intensely. When I received a Snapchat message from him, asking me to follow him, I couldn't ignore the unease creeping over me. As Chester left class to go to the bathroom, I decided to investigate his odd request. Following a few minutes behind him, I discovered he had led me to a dimly lit hallway, rarely used for classes, primarily serving as storage, bathrooms, and offices. He entered a door leading to the school's basement. I hesitated, unwilling to venture into the dark basement alone, and returned to class. When I received more messages from Chester, urging me to join him in the basement, I firmly declined and blocked his account. Upon returning home, I encountered an escalating nightmare. Threatening Snapchat accounts appeared, indicating that Chester knew where I lived and that he was right outside my house. Terrified, I called the police, who advised me to find a safe place. I heard a window shatter downstairs and hid in a closet, calling the police again. While Chester entered my house, I waited in silence until he left. The police arrived, but Chester had vanished. The following day, I reported the unsettling encounter to the school principal, only to learn that there was no record of a student named Chester ever attending the school. Surveillance footage revealed that he had infiltrated the school and blended in with the students, further deepening the mystery. To this day, I wonder about Chester's intentions and what horrors might have unfolded if I had followed him into the dark unknown of the school's basement. Whispers in the dormitory. Let me start by saying that I've always considered myself a rational, level-headed person. I'm not one to believe in the supernatural or unexplained phenomena. In fact, I've always been an atheist and a skeptic at heart. I never believed in an afterlife, ghosts, or anything beyond the tangible world. But lately, something has been happening that's making me question those beliefs. I'm a freshman at a university somewhere in the western United States. It's a typical large university with the usual mix of students, parties, and academic pressures. I moved into my dormitory, a towering and somewhat imposing brutalist-style building with 12 floors. Surprisingly, despite its exterior, it felt cozy on the inside with its 70s-style architecture. The first few weeks went by smoothly. I made friends with the guys on my floor and settled into a routine that included the occasional late-night marijuana session. One morning, I decided to break from my usual routine and smoke early. I went outside to a nearby field to enjoy the rising sun. Afterward, I returned to my dorm to do some chores. As I headed to the basement laundry room, the only part of the building that gave me an uneasy feeling, I noticed an open doorway at the far end of the hallway. For a moment, I thought I saw someone walking past it, but I shrugged it off and continued to the laundry room. The next few days were uneventful, until I noticed the hallway lights on my floor flickering strangely. It was more than just a flicker. It was as if they were communicating in some eerie pattern. I chalked it up to old wiring, but couldn't shake the sense of unease. A few days later, things took a stranger turn. I was alone in my dorm when a woman, who seemed out of place in our all-male dorm, knocked on my door. She was looking for directions to a walkway between the west and east towers. I guided her, but something about her demeanor felt off. When I tried to follow her to the elevator a few seconds later, she had vanished without a trace, and the elevators didn't show any movement. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, but I tried to put it out of my mind. However, the strange occurrences continued. One day, while waiting for the elevator in the basement, a fluorescent light suddenly exploded, causing the hall to go partially dark. The elevator took longer than usual to arrive, and I eventually decided to take the stairs. As I climbed the stairs, I realized that someone was following me from above. The footsteps were eerily synchronized with mine and seemed to get heavier and faster as I ascended. The air was filled with a putrid stench that made me gag. Panic set in, and I started running up the stairs, but the footsteps above me matched my pace. When I reached my floor, I fumbled with my keycard to unlock the door. The footsteps and the smell abruptly ceased, leaving me bewildered. Two people passed me in the stairwell, giving me odd looks. I'm at a loss for what's happening. These inexplicable events have shaken me to the core.